his branded shoes colliding with the marble tiles on the floor. He enters the house with his usual face without any expressions on it. His dark black eyes looked at the dining table, which was filled with dishes. He approached it, putting his bag on one chair and sitting on the other. After putting off his coat, the maid still had 2 to 3 things more to serve, like water and drinks. As she was doing that, he was immersed in eating, that his hand accidentally hit the maid's hand when he was trying to get the salad. His eyes went towards her hand by mistake, which had a long and dreadful scar on it. She drew her hand back while saying, "I'm sorry." Jungkook was confused as he didn't find that voice familiar, so he looked at the maid. He was so amazed after he looked at her that he stood up from his chair. He dragged her from her arm and pinned her on the table, putting his arm on her neck while strangling it forcefully. "Jungkook, who are you? What did you mix in my food?" "Wine. What are you talking about? I'm your maid's sister. She was ill, so I came instead of her," she said while trying hard to breathe. He loosened her a bit so that she can answer him. "Jungkook, why don't I know about this? How did you enter?" "Wine. Your guards let me in after checking my identity and talking to my sister themselves." He called one of his guards from outside to ask him about this, and he told Jungkook that she is telling the truth. After dismissing the guard, he looked at her again, when his eyes softened a little. He left her and immediately apologized for his behavior. "I'm sorry. I didn't know." "Wine. That's why you should do things after confirming your suspicion." "How dare a mere maid like you speak like that to him?" One of Jungkook's guards spoke up to Wine. Jungkook gestured his guard to not say anything. "It's my fault anyway. You can do your work and go." As someone who is in danger from his enemies for 24 hours, this act was expected from him. When he sees a stranger in his house, Wine was angry as to whoever he is. He doesn't have the right to do this. She doesn't know the kind of life he lives. So she wasn't satisfied even when he apologized. She just stood a little behind from him and saw him eating his food so peacefully after doing that to her. She cursed on him, whereas Jungkook knew what was happening behind his back. He gestured towards a chair and asked her, "Sit here." "Wine. Me? No, no, you can eat." "Jungkook, sit already. I can hear your thoughts out loud until here." She made an awful face and sat on the chair beside him, for he asked her, "What's that scar on your arm?" "Wine. Why do I need to tell you that?" He put a plate in front of her and asked her, "Eat with me. You most probably wouldn't have eaten yet." She looked at him with amusement as to why he is doing this now. Jungkook noticed that and said to her, "It's just a way to apologize. Nothing else. You can eat." She forced a fake smile and gave it to him. Then she started eating a little. Jungkook wanted to get her to talk, as he anxiously wants to know about that scar on her arm. He never meddles in other affairs, but he can't seem to stop thinking about it since he saw it. "Jungkook, the food is so delicious today. Your hands have magic in them or something. I can't stop eating." Vine's fake smiled again to tell him that the regular chef made it. "I just served it." "Oh, of course. That's why the taste seemed familiar. Jungkook said in embarrassment, for she said to him in answer, "Why is it so delicious today when the same chef made it? I don't get that." At this moment, Vine knew what he was trying to do. Jungkook scoffed to her and said, "You're one interesting woman. How about this? You come to work here instead of your sister." "What?" she asked in amusement, as she doesn't understand why in the world would he want that. "Jungkook, why do you look so shocked? I'll raise the salary if you come." "Wine, and why would you do that?" "Jungkook, just, I want to," he said in his casual voice, trying not to show any worries or tension that he has for her. "Wine, I don't understand you at all. We don't want the raised salary. I just hope you finish eating fast so that I can go from here." "So you will go once I finish eating." He put the fork and the spoon in his hand on the table and looked at her in the eyes. "I won't eat then." What the hell is wrong with this person? She thought in her mind when she looked back in his eyes, making the intense eye lock. He was lost in her eyes so deep that he wanted to know about her more intensely this time. No way he is letting her go without him helping her a bit, as he knows once she goes, she won't come back. He scoffed after picking up the fork and spoon. "I was just joking. Why do you look like that?" "I agree," she said, not making him understand. "I can come instead of my sister." "Jungkook, what's with the sudden change?" "Wine, I need money. You said you would raise my salary, so I thought about a bit. I can come here daily if you still have that offer." "Jungkook, of course I have it. You're most welcome here." The sudden change wasn't her thinking about the money, but it was his eyes that made her lost in them, and not to tell that she wanted to keep being lost in them for a reason. She saw nothing but sorrow and pain in his eyes that no one could see, as he is that rich mafia who has no fears. She wanted to know his side of the story and wanted to take better care of him. That's why she agreed coming here daily. She looked at him eating the food with a fake smile again, trying to look happy now that she will come here daily. She kept looking at him, for he noticed her. "What are you looking at?" Jungkook asked her, for she made those serious expressions to tell him. "My ex did this," she said, after getting her sleeve up to show not the one scar, but a lot of scars. He stopped eating and instantly asked her, "What? Your ex?" "Wine. I answered you. Now, can you tell me about yourself a bit?" "Jungkook, you answered me. That was it? Who was he? Why did he do that? Where is he now? You need to tell me everything if you're finally answering." "Jungkook, and why suddenly are you answering me?" "Because I want to know about you. And I know you won't tell me until I open up in front of you." She shared her greatest misery with him, which she would never tell anyone. But she told him just for the reason that she wanted to know about him badly, his past, and wanted to comfort him about it. "Jungkook, you want to know about me? What do you want to? Everything is in front of you. This big house, and the fact that I am a mafia. What else there is?" "Wine. Not all this, that everyone already knows. But you. I want to know about the inner you. I want to know why those eyes look so sad that I can't stop myself from wanting to comfort you. Jungkook scoffed as he said, Me? How am I sad? What are you talking about? Although he did act that he wasn't like that, but it was the first time someone actually understood him. Someone who didn't go to his looks to judge him, but looked at the inner side of him. He knew at that moment that no one can understand him better than her. He looked at her in the eyes with his eyes first time softened for someone. Wine, you don't need to lie to me. I already know that you're suffering, so there's no need to lie anymore, because I won't believe it. Jungkook, then what would you believe? Wine, the truth that only comes from your inner self, the self that only you know about, and and me too now. Jungkook, right. I'm sad, and every part of my heart is broken into million pieces. There's no way back from me. I'm suffering so much that I don't have any will or reason to live anymore. You are the first one to notice that part of mine. So I wanted to tell you that. Don't know why. She couldn't bear to listen this, but as she already expected it, after looking in his eyes, the shock wasn't too much. She held his hand that was on the table and said to him, I'm sorry, but why do you live like this? Why do you kill everyone when you don't have any hope for yourself? Jungkook, that's why I do it. I did everything I could to find a reason that would make me want to live, but it was all in vain. Then I started beating those who went against me to fill this empty hole of mine. And slowly it turned to killing. I keep doing it, but I can't fill this hole. Why? Do you want me to fill this hole for you? Jungkook, what? Why would you? Can I go in that empty space in your heart to fill it so that you can have a reason to live again? She said, looking in his eyes, for he looked back at her. He was lost in those eyes for too long that he also wanted to fill the hole. He thought to himself, maybe, just maybe, I found a reason in those eyes. He was looking in those eyes that suddenly she crashed her lips upon his and started kissing him passionately, providing all her warmth and comfort to him, to calm him down a little, as she saw that he almost had tears in his eyes. He wasn't too stunned when she suddenly did this, as he wanted the same from her. He kissed her back and felt all the warmth and passion she provided him. He finally had tears in his eyes when he felt those emotions after a long time. She looked at him after breaking the kiss and wiped his tears, saying, It's a relief that you cried. Cry all you want. I will comfort you without judging you or getting tired at all. He hugged her and tried to control his tears when he said, I don't think there's a reason to cry anymore because I found a reason to live in your eyes. I just have to look at you and be beside you at all times. Can you do that for me? She smiled and hugged him back. What do you think? Will I do it? He noticed her hugging him back and he already got his answer. Let's go to the room. I need to hear your side of the story too, that I wanted to hear but ended up telling mine. She smiled and held his hand after breaking the hug. We'll deal with only yours for today. Let's go. He held her hand back, putting his fingers into hers, telling her that she is his now, thanks to her sister who got sick for a day.